Here we are for a live today on Instagram and on Facebook. So last week I didn't know if it worked with Instagram, and it's a little bit similar today. What's going on there? Anyway, we're gonna do it on Facebook. Hello, hello everyone. So today in this transmission, we're gonna work on my quantum travel formula, my quantum formula for vortex amplification. And I'm very excited to share this with you because this is the formula that I have been using for the last couple of months, and that has really helped me to literally quantum jump reality and to create an amazing life and to really access the next level of evolutions that were available already in my vortex, but that I wasn't really sure how to access. So I know that many of you are interested in knowing like what's a vortex and how we can amplify this vortex basically. So to start with, we're gonna first, I would like to let you know that this formula contains many different algorithms, and each algorithm in itself can be worked on. So there are many different algorithms, and it can take quite some time to actually really open up algorithm and to understand what's inside it and to basically bring coherence and to be able to align and apply this algorithm in our everyday lives, right? So today I will give you the formula. It's a 7-step formula. Some of you will already know certain keys that I'm going to share with you, but what you might not know is how to actually use these keys together to create this formula that's going to literally shift your life. So I'm really, really excited to share this with you because you're going to be able to really observe the shift happening in your life and to refine using this formula. So this is a powerful formula with profound algorithm, and I cannot go into all the details in this life because basically that's this formula in itself is actually the foundation of a 2-day workshops that I will be giving in Wellington at the end of June. It's the first time I publicly announced it, and I'm very excited. So people can travel from all over New Zealand, and now we have a Trans-Tasman bubble, so Australians as well. You'll be able to join me for 2 days of amazing quantum work when we're going to start diving deep into ways that we can use this formula to create our quantum reality. So here I already want to kind of share the codes with you. And this event will happen in Wellington, but it will also be broadcasted worldwide. So if you can't travel here, no worries at all. You'll still be able to receive this code if you feel called to do so. So this formula might trigger you, and this is excellent. And because when we start receiving information, we start observing that there are things that we like and that there are things that we dislike, and that's totally okay. I would like to invite you to consider the fact that maybe your likes and dislikes are preventing you from evolving, and to simply observe them arising and to simply receive what you receive. And you know, after all, if you really don't like it, you don't really have to do anything that I share. You don't have to use it. You know, I'm just offering and suggesting things. And if it triggers you in certain ways, it simply shows that there are areas of growth that you could, you know, dive into, because these areas of growth, basically, it's our triggers, right? It's like, why are we reacting strongly to this or that? Because maybe there's some fears or limiting beliefs or wounds or trauma residing behind that. So yay, amazing. We can start going into that. So this vortex amplification formula starts with understanding first what's a vortex. So I use personally the term of vortex to make the distinction between the infinite quantum, where all possibilities reside, like everything resides, basically everything, all our wildest dreams, wildest imagination, everything is present within the infinite quantum, right? And then we have our reality, our 3D reality, which is very different. So these are already two different realms, if you want. And between these two realms, we have our vortex. And basically, our vortex is allowing us to start manifesting in our 3D reality what we call into our vortex. Here is the interesting thing. We bring into our vortex everything that we desire consciously, but also the things that we say and the things that we think. So when we have a negative thought, when we have limiting beliefs, they are also coming in our vortex. So our vortex is going to start being more and more cluttered with all sorts of information, what often prevents us from accessing a certain level of manifestation is that there are contradictions about our intentions. So, for example, we could say, I want to be a powerful intuitive. I want to have greater access to my intuition. I'm calling that in and placing that in my vortex. Yes, but after that, when you start receiving intuitive messages, you discard them because you don't like it, because they don't suit you, because they are not flashy enough, or whatever reason you're going to find to basically discard your intuition, so that it creates contradiction in your vortex. So basically, what your heart desires, what you say, what you think, and what you do are not coherent. Okay, so the vortex is that basically. The vortex is kind of keeping around you everything that you desire, everything that you call in. And then when we manifest, the language I use is to basically, we bring that into our grids. So it's like the grid of health, the grid of money, the grid of abundance, the grid of work, the grid of partnership. So basically it's like it's real, we can touch it, we can feel it. So with this formula, I'm going to teach you and give you some keys to be able to bring elements in your vortex with greater clarity and precision, with more coherence, and to also be able to remove from your vortex what is not aligned truly to your heart desire and the highest level of frequencies available to you. So we're going to learn how to do that, and then we're going to learn how to actually, from the vortex, start bringing that into our grid to have these manifestations. Hello, everyone. Oh, I love seeing you. Yeah, beautiful students here. Awesome, I love it. Beautiful. So the first step that is part of this formula is to actually meditate. And a lot of people are going to go like, oh, not again, but yes, again. Sorry, but that's actually the first step of the formula. And it is extremely important because we need to meditate, we need to wire that in, and it's meditation, it's at least 20 minutes a day, and it's a must. So there's a lot of information out there about meditation, so I'm not going to go into detail. So basically, you want to reach a state when you are present, when you feel aligned, where the mind is not too agitated. Okay, so you're going to find more and more alignment within the self through your meditation. That is the very first step, and that is to be practiced every single day. You can use any techniques that you like as long as it gives you this feeling of inner peace and presence. Okay, we are not trying to reach bliss here, we're just trying to kind of find a place of greater presence. Okay. The second step of this formula is to actually be used in your everyday life. And this second step in itself, we could dissect it for hours and hours, which we will do during the workshop that I will facilitate in June in Wellington. And the second step is basically to find quantum coherence. Quantum coherence means that we align what we think, what we say, and what we do in all areas of our lives. It is easier said than done. I've been practicing just that algorithm in itself for a very long time, and I can tell you it's still a big work in progress, right? So this is why meditation is the first step, is so important, because we learn to control our thoughts. We learn to observe our thoughts. We learn to observe where our thoughts take us. And we bring control back. We bring control back, so basically we can control our thoughts instead of thinking, oh, the weather is shit again, I cannot do anything, I'm cold and blah, blah, blah. We're going to say like, oh, great, it's raining. It means I can have a stay-at-home day. I'm going to have a cup of cacao and wear my pajama early and watch a delicious movie and cuddle with my partner or cuddle with my cat, okay? So basically that's the thoughts. The thoughts, we shift the thoughts. We align the thoughts to the words we say. And that's extremely important. Again, easier said than done. All of us, we experience, for example, an interaction with a friend, and that friend says, oh, why don't you come to my party? I would love to have you at my party. It's going to be amazing, and so on. And you are in front of that person, and then you just like, you don't really want to go. You think it's going to be overwhelming. Like you don't really want to go to that party, but you don't want to upset the friend right now. You don't want to give any justification or whatever. You're going to say, yes, of course, I'm going to go. That is not coherence. You are not coherent because you think that actually that's going to be overwhelming, but you say something differently, and then the action is probably going to be low vibe because you're going to find an excuse not to go at the last minute because you don't want to upset your friends. Coherence would be, oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you invite me to your party. It sounds absolutely amazing, and I would have loved to come, but I've got such a busy weekend already, and I really feel that I will need a time, for myself, and I will, I just feel I need to rest. It's got nothing to do with you. Like, I love you so dearly, and actually I would love to see you maybe at another time when we can be just the two of us. And already here you are finding higher level of coherence, right? So why is this so important? It's because when we have coherence in our lives, we basically open up the availabilities of the resources that are present for us. So it's been proven scientifically that when we have a higher level of coherence in our life, we are more relaxed, basically. Because let's go with the first option that I mentioned with the friend. If we start lying and not giving the right excuse because we don't want to upset that friend, what's going to happen is that we're going to be stressed and anxious. It's going to loop in our mind, oh shit, I'm going to have to tell her this, I'm going to have to tell her that. And I know I share this with you because this is something that I have done in the past, and it was really like a tab open in my field. It was an energetic leak. You see? So I was not relaxed. So we bring coherence so we can relax because everything is aligned. And when everything is relaxed within us, when we find this state of coherence, it means that, and that has been observed scientifically, that was exactly the theme of the webinar I gave to my student of the university today on DNA upgrades. And I was just explaining that basically scientists have observed that when we are stressed and anxious, the coil of our DNA is retracted. So we don't have resources to our DNA. And when we are in a relaxed state, the coil of DNA is like, we can observe that it's basically stretching. Therefore, we have access to what's inside the DNA, which is basically like all the codes and good programs that reside within us, right? So it's important to find coherence, because when we have coherence, we are relaxed. When we are relaxed, we have access to greater resources. Also, when we have coherence, when we practice that and we bring coherence between what we think, what we say, and what we do, we place clarity in our vortex. It's like we are very clear with our intention. For example, again, some people would like to have more uplifting friends. They would like to have a tribe of like-minded people. But yet they keep on cultivating toxic friendships. And they keep cultivating toxic friendships because they don't want to hurt this person or to hurt that person. So they would rather deplete their energy, think, oh, like I'm going to be drained, this person is exhausting. They would rather place themselves in a non-coherent situation than practice coherent and be free. And therefore, it gives mixed signal. The vortex is confused. How can you manifest the new level of friendships or even partnerships into your life if basically you continue cultivating relationship with people that are draining you, with people that you have nothing in common with, and there is no judgment about these people. It's just like you are shifting and you just simply want to find other people. And if you know that certain friendships are really not that great anymore, it is about time to basically end them. You know, we end them, and that's it. And this is where like sometimes triggers comes. It's because like, oh, you know, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do that. And I don't say that it's easy, right? I don't say that it's easy. There is no judgment about that. We don't need to do that in a rush, but it is simply food for thought. How can we lovingly close a relationship that has served us for a very long time, that has served the other person for a very long time? So then, therefore, we close certain, you know, these are the blocks, by the way. These are the blocks. Everything that's low vibing in our field that doesn't align with our heart desire, that have our higher frequency, we need to sort that out. And we sort that out by practicing coherence. So we observe if it's uplifting, we observe if it's exciting, we observe what we think also, and what we say to that person, and what we do with that person. Okay, so when we bring coherence, there is clarity. So therefore the vortex, it's like, ooh, I can see there is pure coherence, and it creates this direct path, right? This direct path is there, it is very clear. Because we start consciously activating this coherence inside of us, we are starting to remove from our vortex everything that is not vibing at that level. So it can be friendship, but it can also be a job. And again, that is very triggering. And, you know, I have been there, and there's no judgment upon that. I'm just sharing information, you know, to help you have a greater understanding of how manifestation works, right? So again, like if you work in a job that you don't really like, and that is, you know, like stressing you out, that's making you anxious, that doesn't even give you enough money to actually enjoy life, and so on and so on, where it's kind of like it's a block in your vortex. But until you actually bring coherence into your work life, nothing is going to change. So for that, it's really thinking about, okay, so I'm bringing this forward now, and let's brainstorm. Let's use my intellect. You are like, big news here, flash news, you are actually an intelligent person, right? You have a brain, and your brain functions very well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't even be able to access this live or this recording, right? So you have a brain. Use your brain for your happiness, not to create your unhappiness. Use your brain. Start brainstorming ideas. And it could be that you can't quit your job right now because you have to pay the bills. Once you start realizing that was my situation for a very long time, I had to work as a massage therapist. I had to continue giving yoga classes, even though I felt it was not aligned anymore. But at that moment, as I realized that, I thought, I changed my thought. I thought, I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful for these jobs right now, for this work right now, for every single client and student that I have right now, because they allow me to have this life where I can put food on my table when I live in my cute little home, and I'm so grateful for it. Therefore, I started shifting my thoughts around that. I started shifting what I was saying, like, oh, I'm exhausted for massaging, I'm drained, I don't want to do it anymore. I started shifting. That's like, I'm so happy that I'm doing it. I'm so happy that it is there now. So it's allowing me to keep the abundance needed to maintain basically a lifestyle where, like, I might not have a lot of, you know, amazing crazy money flying from everywhere, but at least I have a roof above my head, and I have food on the table, and a little bit of extra. So I started already bringing coherence into my life when I started realizing that, okay, like, work life is gonna have to change. I don't have exactly the solution right now, but I know it in my vortex. I can feel it. The next level is there. I know it is there. So I started bringing coherence like that. And next thing you know, new ideas were starting to come, new people were starting to come into my life, because I was always, finding a highest level of vibration regarding that experience that I was having. Okay, so this is bringing coherence, and this is allowing the vortex to be cleared. So the blocks that are present in the vortex, they come from a lack of coherence. They come from that. They come from limiting beliefs, from fears, from thoughts. There are no blocks in the vortex as such that we can't dissolve instantly as soon as we are basically aligned to our heart. So when people start sharing with me that they don't know how to shift blocks and so on, and this because it's coming because of that person or that job situation and so on, I say yes. And this is also coming from you placing yourself as a victim of your situation. Guys, we are not victims here. We are spark of the divine. And as spark of the divine, we are powerful creator, for goodness sake. We are so powerful that we can create the reality of our dreams. I'm not just talking about it, I am doing it, and we can witness more and more people doing it. And everybody's got their own formula. So here I'm just sharing mine, okay? So we are such powerful creators that once we can start reclaiming that power, we move away from victimhood. Move away from victimhood. We are not victims. Everything that's residing there as challenges and as blocks, we are the creators of them. So we observe them. They are outside of us. They are not in us. They are outside of us. We observe what the block sounds like. Okay, how can I use coherence here to remove the block? And so it is. And so it is. Okay? Again, I'm sharing this with you with a lot of love and compassion because I know that it can be a challenging step. You know, this algorithm in itself about coherence is actually a formula in itself, you know, so it can be dissected, as I said, for hours and hours. There are many keys in that we can keep on exploring. But with this, hopefully you understand a little bit more about the second step of this formula for vortex amplification, and you can start bringing that into your life. And be cool with yourself. Don't judge yourself for not being always coherent. I'm far from being coherent, far from it. Okay, it's always a work in progress. Ta-da! Welcome to human reality. Always a work in progress, right? We're never there. We're never there. And this is why it's exciting. You know, life on Earth is absolutely freaking fascinating and exciting. Because guess what? When we start bringing into our great, our heart desire, when we start manifesting, what's happening? Do you think we're going to be like, yes, I'm done now, satisfied? Most likely we're going to start having new desires, new dreams, and then we're going to start using new keys, and we're going to start expanding our vortex to yet another level. And I talk about vortex amplification because this is literally how I feel it and I perceive it intuitively. It's like the electromagnetic field, which is a part of the vortex. I'm not going to go into details around this architecture, but basically like it amplifies. So it means that we can hold more into our vortex. We can hold more money. We can hold a bigger tribe of clients and students and friends. We can hold higher frequency around partnerships and union and so on. Okay? So the third step of this vortex amplification formula, it's absolutely awesome. And again, in itself, we're going to work on that for hours during the event coming at the end of June. And this third step, we talk about pool frequencies. What on earth does that mean? A pool frequency comes from heart desires. So this is going to be exciting, guys. This is something that you can do in your own time. So we can allow ourselves to really like dream, you know, and really dream unapologetically, because actually dreaming is not so much dreaming that accessing all the infinite possibilities residing for us within the quantum. And we're going to start dreaming about all sorts of things, and we can allow ourselves to dream big. But sometimes a dream is going to give us kind of a little buzz. It's going to be so delicious. We're going to have a tear of joy just thinking about it. And we're going to go like, oh, no. I shouldn't dream like that, because if it doesn't happen, I will be devastated. Like, ooh, red flag, red flag. No. Do not say that. This is not coherence, okay? Honor your dream. was like, okay, so I feel so excited. I feel so excited with this vision, with this dream that I have. So like for me, it was living by the sea, like I do now, to be able to, from every room that I am in the house, which is actually happening right now, apart from the laundry, I can see the sea from everywhere. And I would simply see that, and to start with like, oh my God, I cannot think about that because I'll be so sad because that I don't have it. Like, no, coherence. So this pool of frequencies come from our heart desire. So the heart desire of that house was a house not only that had sea view, but otherwise also kind of luxurious and comfortable. In the visions that I was calling in, I could see like this beautiful couch, this modern kitchen. I could feel that I had my own beautiful bedroom where I could just lie down in bed and see the beautiful view. I could see all of that, and I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing, this is so exciting. So that is one heart desire that for me was really coming up right more clearly. And when I start talking about a pool of frequencies, is actually the pool of frequencies around that. How am I in that picture? I'm not dressed the same way actually. I'm dressed more classy. I have more money. I have more confidence. So I can access like new clothes. I can kind of upgrade that. Also, I have more money, so I have like my hair look better. I go more to the dentist, and I can have more facials, and I can have my brows and my eyelashes done, and so on. And so that's part of the pool of frequencies, right? And then who am I saying? What are the people? What kind of people do I invite in that space? And therefore I start visualizing, oh, like these friends I know already, like they would absolutely love that. And then I'm just calling in new friends that are aligned to that frequency. And then who I could also, like part of this pool, there is also a partner, there is also a car, there is my health. I'm vibrant, I'm accessing my 5D body, I'm running and swimming in the sea every day, I'm going to the gym every day, I'm practicing yoga every day. So that's the pool of frequency I'm talking about. It's not so much. And here, this is where I work slightly differently from certain manifestation coach. I'm not a manifestation coach. I don't call myself that. But for me, around this, I work slightly differently in a way that I don't visualize exactly with pure precision, exactly the place, where, how, and so on. You know, it's kind of like more the frequency of it, the feeling of it, the visions that I had, they were coming to me. I knew I wanted to live by the sea, but I didn't really have like a clear picture. I thought, oh, I might like this, I might like that. But actually what the universe brought me, what was needed, is the set amount of frequencies. But there are certain factors of this property that I never thought I would live in. Like it's built on a cliff, for example. We thought, oh my God, it's so scary, you know, living in Wellington when we can have earthquakes, and it's basically like on a cliff like that. But there was absolutely zero doubt about the fact that this house is my house. So when you start creating this pool of frequency, it's nice to daydream about it and to kind of visualize it to a certain extent, because it kind of creates a little bit of coherence. When I'm in here in this space, I don't see myself smoking and binge drinking. I don't see myself wearing cheap, second-hand clothes anymore. None of that. So I am able so this is how we bring step 2 and step 3 together, right? So this is how I am able to bring coherence in my life now, so I can match that frequency. So when I started having all of these heart desires and visualization coming to me in my old place, I went through my wardrobe and I got rid of 3/4 of it, because none of it was coherent with those frequencies. I started getting more clear about the circle of friends that was around me, about the man that one day I would be maybe meeting, the way I wanted to show myself, present myself. So head high, shoulders back, and kind of, like happy, waking up early. I started going to the gym. I started every day. I started practicing more yoga every day, and I started connecting to the sea more and more. I started going on online, to look at properties, to code myself with these frequencies. So already I started bringing coherence in all aspects that I could. Everything that was in my grid, I started to match it to the pool of frequency that I wanted to reside in. And that's extremely powerful. Now that I am in this house, I have upgraded massively. And now I can start perceiving that in my vortex, very clearly, there is the car that has been, coming for, a long time. It has, been one of my kind of actionable points to expand my vortex, like beautiful car, but there's also a partner, and there's also a new network of people that are, powerful and influential light workers and leaders of the new earth. So I can see that all of that is coming closer to me in my vortex. I can really feel that coming into my grid more and more. So they will come into my grid one day sooner rather than later, and I will see that like it will be basically manifested in physicality. Okay, so we start accessing the next level of our vortex because we are tuning into these frequencies. And this is where it's so important, because we start really, and we can do that in our meditation. We can simply see ourselves in our space, see ourselves with our friends, see ourselves with our car or our business or whatever we are calling in, and we can feel how we feel. How would you feel if that was already there in your grid? How would you feel? You would feel uplifted, but also happy and calm, and you would feel proud of yourself. And that pride, it's not coming from lower ego, it's coming from your higher ego, it's coming from your soul, from your higher self, like being so proud of yourself for having done the work, to find this happiness, to anchor this abundance in your life. How would you feel really, and really lock that in? Consciously breathe that in and do that every single day. Really consider this pool of frequencies and how it makes you vibrate, to be with these friends, to be driving that car, to be, that waking up in beautiful sheets, in a beautiful bed next to someone you love. How would you feel? And can you hold those feelings now in the life that you have? Can you be in that pool of frequency already? Yes, you can. It comes with practice, okay? And first we go in meditation, and so we meditate, we find inner peace, right? And then we call that in, and we feel so much, and we lock that in. And then we start going on with our lives. It just takes a moment to close our eyes and basically feel that, and they call that in, and we feel that, oh, I'm in that pool of frequency now, and we reactivate that consciously until we actually pretty much stabilize in those frequencies most of the time, which is what I did. I was still living in my old space. I still had, basically the same life, but I was so much stabilizing into these frequencies of gratitude, of love, but also of being proud of myself, because a lot of us here, we suffer from imposter syndrome, of like not being good enough. Fuck that shit. Sorry my language, but this is so not true. So never ever bring that into your vocabulary ever again, please. This is bullshit. This is not right. So how to get rid of that? Control your thoughts. Don't even go there. When that thought comes, like poof, not mine. Go away now. Poof, poof, poof. Matrix plugging. Poof, poof, poof. Childhood plugging. Poof. Kick it out, right? Come back. I am the infinite source of God, of the divine. I am the goddess. I am here, I'm a joyful person. When people are around me, they feel uplifted, they feel so happy. I am so generous, I am so kind. And you talk like that about yourself. That is coherence. This is coherence because this is you as a soul. You know, like your soul doesn't suffer from freaking imposter syndrome or not good enough syndrome. Ever. No. Your soul knows who you are beyond time and space realities. So tune into that. Be that now. Okay? You are the master of your reality in this way already now. Okay? So you control your thoughts. Your thoughts about yourself first, always. Okay? What you say about yourself. Very often, I hear people say, oh, I was so stupid, I did that the other. It's like, excuse me? Could you please rephrase that? You know, like it, and I still do it, but not that much anymore, like nearly never. And if I do it, the friends that I have now around me that have manifested in my life will call me on that because they know they can. They're going to say, Cendrine, Cendrine, Cendrine. You might like to rephrase that, right? So this is the third step of this vortex amplification formula. So remember, first we have the meditation, then we have coherence, and then we have the pool of frequencies coming from our heart desire. Okay, and then the fourth step, I have already slightly touched on this. It's basically conscious timelines shift through aligned actions. And what does that even mean? So conscious timeline shift through aligned actions actually mean what I shared before about already clearing your space of everything that doesn't matches the pool of frequencies that you are calling in. Okay, so you are going to go through your wardrobe and say, all of that beautiful clothes, thank you so much for being there. You served me for so many years. No, bye-bye. I'm going to donate you so you can make other people happy, and therefore I'm clearing my space. I did that for months, and I was living in a very small house. Got rid of clothes, got rid of furniture, got rid of so many things. Like so many things I cleared, and I cleared the entire garage like 3 times in a row because it was always more, always more, always more. I cleared everything. So that's aligned actions that we can already take. Another aligned action that is actually relatively easy, even if you don't have many money resources at the moment, is to actually look after your appearance. When you wake up in the morning, like do your hair, put cream on your face, wear nice clothes, take a shower, put some nice cream on and smell good, whatever, because like again, it's quite individual here. Not everyone likes this or that, but basically when you wake up and you do your morning ritual, look at yourself in the mirror and be pleased with what you see. Be pleased because that is you. That is your physical body. We are so lucky to have physical bodies, you know? Like we are so lucky to be able to do that, to look at ourselves in the mirror before we go on with our days. Many people don't have that access, you know? They don't even have that access. They are sick, they're in bed, they are, you know, in horrible situation where they don't even have time to think about themselves, you know, like we can because we are here. So let's take a moment to really align these frequencies, to wire that in by uplifting ourselves to this pool of frequency. This is what I started doing. I work from home, guys. Very easy to stay in my pajama all day. And actually, I have a confession to make. Very often, if I don't have to get out of the house because I don't have the kids, I do actually like to stay in my pajama until lunchtime. I still work and I do things, but it is occasional. It actually comes as a pleasure of manifesting such an abundant life, so much time and, you know, space that I can actually do that. But last year, exactly at this time, we went into lockdown, right? And I quickly observed, and it went on for months, that I was basically in my harem pants, the same ones, every single day. I was looking the same every single day. I wasn't even doing my hair. They were always in a tiny little bun. I was not putting makeup on. Why would I do that? You know, like, no, I don't see anyone and so on. And then that went on for a while until I said, okay, that is enough. I'm not going to reach the next level of my life if I'm dressed like this and if I feel like this. So I started putting more effort. I got rid of all of these clothes and I started dressing up a little bit more, you know? I don't wear heels in my house yet, but I You know, basically I do my hair, I do my, you know, my cream, my ritual, I put some nice clothes on, I feel good, I align to those frequencies. So this is like conscious timeline shift. We basically do everything that's available to us in this reality that we have right now that is going to match that reality. For example, for me, you might find that funny. So most of you have been following me for a while, and you know that my beloved friends, the Arcturians at that channel, are very clear on the fact that I have to honor the heart desire to own a beautiful car. And it's white, like the Maserati, right? Like this luxurious car, which is actually when it first started coming as a desire, I was like really fighting it because, you know, like, shouldn't like this is ridiculous, why a car, I've never been a car person, and blah, blah, blah. Until I actually acknowledge the fact that I think it's sexy, I think it's powerful, like the, you know, like the brand Maserati is strength and power, like the symbol is a trident, like the King Triton. And now I meet King Triton when I swim in the sea, so I'm really activated in that. It's like all of this strength and power, and that's very much my coding. I'm strong, I'm powerful, and the car is like, it's sexy inside, it's beautiful, it's luxurious, and the feeling, oh my god, the feeling, you know, I had a friend who had a Maserati, and this is how I started coding myself with that. And just the feeling when you sit in that car, it's like so relaxing. You don't even feel the road, it's beautiful, it feels so relaxed and expensive, and just like, you know, all the good feelings. So in that car, I don't have my kids, you know, like putting they, you know, they don't do that anymore, they're older. But now in the car we have, which is beautiful, a Prius that I've had for many years, that's second hand. It's full of dirty tissues and a sock here and the wrapping paper of that stuff there. And I don't even clean the car. The seats are dirty. Outside it's dirty. Like the car boot is always like. So I started realizing like there's no coherence in that, because I would never treat my Maserati like I treat my Prius. Poor Prius, darling Prius, I love it. So now I make sure that the car is tidy, top notch, always. Always bringing coherence to that, bringing that pool of frequency here and now, of cleanliness, of clarity, aligning to that, to those frequencies of the Maserati with the Prius that I have. And it's amazing. I'm taking the aligned actions, which is the fourth point, okay? And this is how basically I take aligned actions in my everyday life to simply bring coherence, so I can already reside in that pool of frequency. And then when I drive, I'm like, I love you, my Prius, you're so awesome. And I love it, you know, I love it on the road, but I also can feel and visualize myself driving Maserati, you know. And I'm going to go for a test drive sometime soon. I'm going to book a test drive and drive one. So it's even better coding. Anyway, let's not sidetrack with this excitement. So that was the step 4. Okay. So the 5th step, this is unique quantum technology that actually I have received from my team that I work with. And this quantum technology, they call it a timeline stretcher. So this, we're going to go deep into the workshop that I'm going to facilitate in June. But I still want to give you the technique. So if you can visualize and if you can go into quantum, by the way, I have shared with you all a couple of weeks ago how to travel in our own quantum space, right? To travel safely in the quantums, like it's a quantum travel formula. Use that before you use this technique of timeline stretcher, because it means that therefore you are safe in your very own quantum space, and you're going to start using this technology in a way that is really matching your soul frequency. Okay, so we're going to put a link somewhere when we post the replay of this on Facebook and also different platforms, so you can watch that episode if you haven't watched it before. So when you are in your own quantum space, this is what you're going to do. So the timeline stretcher works with connection points. So the way it has been explained to me and shown to me is that we have so we are inside a web. So I visualize it as a spider web. It's like I'm inside it and I can see lines and there are some connection points. So here it's important not to bring too many connection points. I like to bring 3 or 5 of them maximum. And basically these connection points, so I'm just getting a bit, so I'm here and I can visualize them quite far away in the distance. So maybe like an arm length, right? So an arm length, I visualize this point. And these points are my manifestation points. This is my heart desire. So this is the Maserati. This is a conscious partner. This is a higher level of money frequency. This is 5D physical body. And this is going to the dentist. Something like that, you know. I'm just making it up for now because, you know, like I've been going through so many shifts that I need to actually rework on my my connection point. So these connection points, they are around me. It is actually not necessary to know what they are precisely. Okay, it is simply a quantum exercise that has many layers and it requires mastery, but we can do this because I'm bringing it the point number 6 in now, because we have a galactic team, which is the 6th point of this formula. We work with our galactic team, okay, and our galactic team, they know more than us what is kind of the next level of our spiritual evolution. So we are powerful creator, but most humans at the moment, it's not conscious. We don't know how to basically work with quantum realities. And this is why I teach what I teach, because I'm here to teach people how to do that. This is exactly what I'm doing, right? So for most of you who are going to listen to this transmission, is that you don't already have the tools and the keys to be able to work in the quantum with precision. So always work with your galactic team, because your galactic team is kind of like they know what they're doing. They are masters, okay? So you can simply call in your team. You call your team and you say, okay, please team, place in my vortex the main anchor point, the main connection points that are going to anchor me into the next level of my evolution. Please, galactic team, place this anchor point in my vortex now. So it's what is the most ascended, what is the most aligned to my soul, but also my soul mission. And it is aligned to love. It is aligned to connection. It is aligned to freedom and abundance. These are like, here we don't call connection points that are shitty and that are low vibes and that are based on ego, right? Like we understand that the galactic team, they work from divine service templates. So they work for the greatest good of all. So what we place in our vortex, it is for the greatest good of all. So you might think, why is a Maserati or a beautiful apartment for the greatest good of all? It's because simply me being able to access that, then I can show you how to access that, because we are here on the planet to have a great time. We are not here on the planet to suffer and feel like shit and feel deprived of fun and joy and connection, because me reaching this access of abundance will allow me to create like the foundation and charity that I have had in my heart for a very long time. This is as simple as that, you know, like tune into the greater purpose of your heart desire. It's not only about you, that the small why, which is very important. It's important to honor the small why, or why we want what we want. But what is the bigger picture behind it? How is this going to serve others? Your galactic team is going to help you anchor that in your vortex. Sometimes we don't know exactly what it is that we need, and this is actually good. Compared to other people, I tend to be surrendering more into the frequency rather than the precision of the manifestation in terms of 3D reality. Okay, so if it doesn't come clearly to me, I surrender, I let that go. I allow the universe to bring me what the most aligned. Okay, so I ask that to my team. And then simply what I do is that I can see them further away in the vortex. I see them further away in the vortex, because for me, I'm quite visual in my intuition and psychic abilities. So I see them further away, and the further they are, the less present they are inside. So it's like they are further away, and there is a cord, like a light cord between me and that anchor point, yeah, that connection point, right? So it's like around me. And what I do is that I'm simply in the quantum, and I'm really present with my heart, and I really present with the pool of frequency. So I'm already in that pool of frequency of feeling calm and feeling so grateful and feeling so full of love, you know, so full of love for everybody in the world, and God and myself. And I just feel all of that. And then from this place, I feel and I visualize and I see all around me this kind of web. And then I literally visualize myself holding onto these strings and then pulling them, and I pull them towards me slowly, and I'm like, I am ready. I am ready now. I am ready now. I am ready. I'm calling you in, and I can feel that, and I can feel them coming closer and closer and closer. So once we do that in the quantum, and we bring them closer around our physical body. Okay? When they are around our physical body, then we surrender even more, which is the seventh step. And the seventh step is the magical step. It's what's going to change everything in your reality. And this is also the most challenging. It is then to let it go completely, and surrender. And how do we do that, when actually what I have said before is that create consciously a pool and so on, and be there and so on. It's like we do that frequently. Every single day we tune into these frequencies, but then we surrender, because when we surrender, we allow the universe to bring us what we need in terms of experiences. A lot of people don't manifest what they think they want to manifest, because simply there are certain aspects of their reality that is not aligned to that. So for example, if I had $1 million a couple of years ago, even when I was with my ex-husband, we would probably have bought a house in the South Island. And I'm so glad that it didn't happen. If I had $1 million 2 years ago, I would probably have spent a lot of it, because I didn't have such a beautiful relationship with money that I have now. So if we don't manifest this job or this man or whatever we want to manifest, it's because we have to surrender to the fact, and this is where humility comes big time, to the fact that there are certain things that we don't know, and that the universe knows, and that there is something better or different or more aligned waiting for us. What we do is that we stay with the frequency, and the frequency is basically this pool of frequency encompasses all beautiful manifestation. When we reside in the pool of frequency of love and gratitude and connection and freedom and abundance, there is no way we can call in like shitty as, house and shitty as friendship. Sometimes they come into our field, it's like a test. Are we going to hook onto that? Are we going to simply observe and say, actually, this is not aligned? Before finding this house, I had the possibility to get another house that was really, really nice. It came 2 months before this one, and I was not established in the level of abundance that I was 2 months later. And that house, I thought that it was the house of my dream. A friend had been living there, and I always thought, oh my God, if one day ever I could afford this house. It's like a private pool, a little bit of a sea view, beautiful location, and so on. I thought like, oh my God, this is it. I must have it. And when I learned that it was on the market, like, oh my God, must have it, must have it, must have it. But then everything went very fast, and actually I didn't have it. I was not disappointed at all. I was not like, oh, I have done something wrong, blah, 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 blah. No. I was like, okay, I surrender. It was simply not meant to be. there were some aspects in that property that were probably not aligning, or maybe I was not aligning, to that, whatever. I don't need to know. Simply, it was not meant to be. And I'm so glad that I had that attitude and I surrendered, because 2 months later, this came up and it's so freaking much better. I can tell you, it's like way much better. So the power of surrendering when we do the work is really allowing God, source, whatever you want to call it, to flow through us and to actually see the level of devotion that we have to our mission and to our soul, because all of this like Vortex Amplification that I'm talking about is very much present to allow us to have a really greater soul alignment, so we can have greater clarity about who we are and why we are here, how we can serve others, how we can be there to shift humanity. So when we surrender, we bow at the feet of the divine and we say, the divine, you know what's best for me and I trust you. I have shown you that I can work on myself. I do it every day with so much joy because it makes me happy to cultivate happiness. It makes me happy to be an abundant, relaxed woman. And it makes me happy to share this way, to cultivate my dreams, my imagination, to find all of this coherence, to take all of these aligned actions. This is uplifting. So I'm going to keep on doing it. And when we surrender, it's literally, we don't always perceive it, but it's going to dissolve even more blocks, even more limiting beliefs, even more traumas and wounds and so on that we carry within us and that we sometimes don't even know we have. It's going to literally alchemize our field and to bring, to dissolve all separations that reside between us and our heart desire. So what we are calling into our grid, so what we are bringing from the infinite quantum in our vortex. Okay, so if you like, when we imagine, when we allow ourselves to daydream, it's the first step of calling from the infinite quantum in the vortex. It's like I allow myself to daydream that one day I'm gonna have an amazing pool of people that are living that lifestyle, and therefore I'll be able to do this, that, and that with them. And every day I will wake up and I feel like this, and I will have that, and I will take my daughters here, and I will be able to create that for this group of people that don't have these resources that I have, like a charity or an organization, like to redistribute money abundance. And we allow ourselves to daydream like that. Therefore, we call in our vortex these possibilities, and then we start bringing coherence and all of these steps. We amplify the vortex, we pull in through the timeline stretcher, and then we surrender. And ta-da! We have the 7 steps of the Vortex Amplification formula. Just going to have a bit of water. So as I shared with you, there are many steps in this. And these 7 steps can all be dissected, okay? So don't be too hard on yourself. This is big work. This is big work, but it is not hard work. It's not necessarily challenging. It's simply practice. So keep your heart light, keep it playful, because playfulness is really high frequency, okay? So you keep it playful and you're curious about the results. You're curious about the experience, because what's important is the path, Maybe I'll never have a Maserati, but I love the path that's taking me there. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome, okay? So if you are interested in going deeper, you'll be excited about this workshop. It's an exclusive workshop. So it's going to happen in Wellington. So if you're in Wellington at the end of June, you can come. It's going to be amazing. It's 2 days, right? But if you're not in Wellington, no worries at all. It will be broadcasted live. And you can now register on the waitlist. You can basically place your interest on the waitlist, because I am working on basically refining a little bit all the codes that are going to be shared, so I can be very clear on what everything is going to be offered, and then you'll be able to register. So we'll have different price points, which is great because it means that you can secure your space at a lower price point, and then the price point will increase. So if you are interested, you can sign up to the waitlist. Okay, and the waitlist, it's simply a waitlist. You won't be added to any other list. I won't spam you. This is not something I do. This is not high vibe. Okay, so you can simply register to the waitlist. I have put the link in the description in this event, and when we are reposting this event on YouTube and also on Instagram and also in the podcast, and when we're going to write a blog post about it, the link will be there. So please register your interest on the wait list. It doesn't mean anything. It just simply means exactly like it is. You are interested to know about that event and possibly come if you're excited and aligned to that. Okay, and then more information will come later. So I am very, very grateful and happy that so many of you joined today. It's really my pleasure to have shared this formula with you. And yeah, thank you for joining. Like, so many of my students are here. I love you guys. Like, we had such a big full-on amazing webinar this morning with a DNA upgrade, like during the university webinar. I'm very impressed, guys. That's so awesome. Love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye.